Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. As you can tell by the title, it is that time of the month again. So in today's video, we will be taking a look at my top 10 upcoming sneakers for the month of November. Now Halloween is behind us, we have a brand new month full of brand new releases that I'm really excited to get into. But before we do that, I just want to welcome back all of my returning subscribers. If you are new around here, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. If you do go on to enjoy this video, please give us a massive thumbs up, which is always truly appreciated. And if you do want to reach out to me outside of YouTube, you will be able to find me on Instagram under ACS Sneakers. And now we got all those formalities out of the way, sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and get straight into this video. So just like I always do before we dive into any of these lists, I want to let you guys know that all the information that we will be discussing does come courtesy from the Source Supplier's website. Now we'll make sure to leave a link in my description area below to the Source Supplier, as well as an individual link to each individual release, just in case you want to check it out in any more detail. Now, as we all know, there's been crazy delays right the way around the world. Shoes are being pushed back, delayed, and even in certain places, not even releasing. So, do take this information with a pinch of salt. It is correct as of today's date, which is the 30th of October, but it may have even changed by the time this video comes out because of how crazy things are right now. But now I've got all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive straight into the list. Quick tea break before we get stuck in. And kicking us off on this list today, we have a hugely exciting release. It is the second iteration of the collaboration between Pata and Nike for the Earmax 1 in the Noise Aqua colorway. Now this is scheduled to be getting a worldwide release on the 4th of November for a retail price of £145. And this does come as a follow-up to the very popular Irmax 1 Monarch, which I did actually manage to cop. So if you haven't seen my review just yet, I will make sure to leave a link above in the description area or in the information box area, whatever you want to call it. But really excited about that shoe, really glad to have that shoe in my collection. And this one, super clean, very nice shoe, and I'm definitely hoping to add it into my personal collection as well. Now I do know that this shoe already had an initial release or an initial run out on the Pata website, so huge congratulations to everyone who's watching this video that actually did manage to pick those up. Unfortunately, I didn't even try because of those import fees. Shout out to Brexit. And because of that, I just didn't fancy trying it. I mean, at the end of the day, the fees they're charging, I may as well just pay a resale at that point. So it's a case of would I rather fund a reseller or the British government? So it's kind of apples and oranges. So neither one is really benefiting me. So I'm going to try my luck through the raffles that have already been listed on the likes of End, on Foot Patrol. And even though it's not currently on sneakers at the minute, it is going to be put back on there for the 4th. I believe that's the information that I've been provided with. Now, there's meant to be a 3rd and even a 4th colorway releasing down the road. But for me, these are the two that I want to focus on. I've already got one. I need to get the other. I'm not sure if I will go down that resale route. We'll have to kind of cross that bridge when we come to it, I should say. But it is a really exciting shoe for me, a really exciting release. I love what Pata have done. I love the fact that everyone will be getting a special box again, even a second bracelet. Don't even know what I'm supposed to do with both bracelets at this point. But either which way, 4th of November, make sure to mark your calendar. This is definitely a shoe you don't want to miss out on. So moving on to the next shoe up on our list, we have the Nike Earmax BW in the Leon colorway. Now this is scheduled to be releasing on the 5th of November for a retail price of £125. And just as a quick disclaimer, I'm not entirely sure if this is releasing specifically in Leon and is actually a regional release. Now we did see the release of the Persian Violet colorway, that seemed to release everywhere. But then as a follow-up to that, we then had an LA colorway, which I believe did release exclusively in LA. And we are also due to be getting a Rotterdam colorway, which I believe is exclusive to Rotterdam as well. I'm personally hoping that this isn't specifically just for Leon and just for France, because I saw this actually up on size for raffle a couple of weeks ago. It was taken down before I even had a chance to enter it, so I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. But it's a really clean shoe. I've got my very first pair of BWs in the Persian Violets. I absolutely love them, and I really want to start to build a BW collection. Like I say, this shoe is scheduled to be releasing on the 5th of November. I haven't seen any raffles, and it isn't up on sneakers just yet, so I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to do. In terms of resale value, in terms of just going to buy it off StockX and and goat. It really just depends on whether or not this is a regional release. If this is regional, then that may add to the actual overall price of it because it will be a lot more exclusive. So more information on that when it does become available. But if there are going to be any UK based raffles or any European raffles, do make sure to check out the raffles guide on the Soul Supplier. All the information will be on there as well. Now, just as a cheeky extra one that I wanted to kind of shoehorn into this video, we have the Air Jordan 4 Wild Things releasing in junior sizing only, and it's not officially on the list because of the fact that it is only releasing in junior sizing, but because of how nice the shoe actually is, I had to include it in this list. And this is actually a shoe that I'm actually going for the missus. She absolutely loves Jordan 4s. I think she's a fan of the Wild Things. I think there's a children's book and then a film to go along with it. I honestly don't know too much about it, but I'm hoping that this shoe will actually get me some plus points for knowing that she actually likes it. She never really tunes into these videos, so it's a little bit easier for me to say on camera what I'm trying to do. But hopefully, I am able to get this pair for her collection and for Christmas. I just think it's a really clean shoe. Very, very similar to what we saw with a couple of other Jordan 4s that I released earlier this year. However, the hits of colour throughout the shoe definitely adds that extra versatile look to it. But the selling point is that fluffy sock liner and the fluffy edges to the tongue. Kind of reminds me of like those fluffy women's socks that they wear around winter. So she is a little bit worried about, what to wear if it is really cold outside. I think this shoe will definitely do the job. The colourway itself probably isn't going to be best for Britain because of the fact that it's going to rain for the next 6 months or maybe even the next 8 months at this point. But it is definitely a really exciting shoe. I didn't want to include it in the list because I know the majority of the people that watch my videos are men, and the majority of men aren't able to fit in junior sizing. But still a really clean shoe, really nice, and really hopeful that I am able to get it in for Christmas for her. May even have to go down that resale route, which would be unfortunate. But if you are wanting it, it is due to be releasing on the 5th of November. Raffles are already available because I've already got mine in as well. So the 5th of November is actually shaping up to be a pretty good day when it comes to sneaker releases, as also releasing on the 5th of November, we have the New Balance 990 V3. Now this is scheduled to be releasing for a retail price of, I believe, £230. The retail price is still a little bit of a sticking point for me. I know a lot of New Balance fans do make that argument that, you're paying for quality, you're paying for a very well-made shoe. And with that said, that's absolutely fine, and I absolutely love very well-made shoes. Who doesn't? But at the same time, paying over £200 for a pair of New Balances, I think that puts a lot of people off. Definitely your average consumer, I'm imagining, was going to have to consider if this is a shoe that they actually want or even need. I buy a lot of shoes from the likes of Nike, Adidas, Jordan, Yeezy, and they're all under that £200 threshold. In the future, with the rising cost of sneakers, I can imagine that Jordan releases will be in excess of £200 as base rates for the actual releases. But until that point, because of how expensive New Balance is, it's one of those shoes that I'm happy to just have let pass me by. But with this shoe in particular, I'm not even sure if this is actually the very first release or if this is like a restock, because on the actual New Balance page, I did see that there's been some comments and a lot of complaints actually from New Balance fans and New Balance customers who haven't actually been able to get their hands on them, and New Balance is becoming as difficult to cop as any other major release from the likes of Jordan, Yeezy, Nike and whatnot. So New Balance are definitely getting up there, and people are getting really frustrated like we do with all other brand releases. So this might be a really difficult cop for you if you are actually going for it. But for me, I'm definitely passing up on it. It's not something that I personally need. So the next shoe up on our list is actually a shoe that I had to Google how to even pronounce it. No shame here. I had absolutely no idea how to say it.
Chlorophyll.
Now, the next shoe that we are taking a look at is the Nike SB Dunk Low Chlorophyll. Still probably said it wrong. And that's scheduled to be releasing on the 11th of November for a retail price of £95. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest SB fan in general. Also, not really the biggest Dunk fan in general. But this one definitely ticks a lot of boxes for me. Really clean colorway, something you can rock easily, wherever, whenever. And to be honest, I am looking for that extra versatile shoe to, kind of cap off the year. Now, I do know that they did a very similar colorway on a pair of Jordan 3s. Massive fan of how they executed that colorway. I'm not entirely sure, really the backstory on this specific colorway and if it actually ties into anything. But just from like a perspective of like a window shopper, just seeing it online, really like what they've done with it. Really like the hits of green. And it's just one of those shoes that immediately caught my attention when I was getting this list ready for this video. So it is something that I'm going to be going for. I do expect that this will be releasing in the exact same vein as all other SB and Dunk releases. So there'll probably be be like a multitude of raffles. It'll probably be available on Sneakers. If not Sneakers, it might be available on Nike. Normally, it's just the Dunk Lows that are on the Nike website, and the SBs kind of make its way over to, you know, the likes of Sneakers app. But there's been no confirmed information as yet. We are still, at this time, we're actually recording this video, still in October. So the November release dates haven't actually updated just yet. But like I said earlier on in the video, if you do want to keep up to date with the raffles for this shoe in particular, do just make sure to check out the raffles guide, because like I said earlier, all the information will be available there. So moving on to the next shoe up on our list, we actually have a collaboration that is completely dividing opinions. Next up, we have the Off-White Air Jordan 2, scheduled to be releasing in the white and red colourway on the 12th of November for a retail price of £140. Now, alongside this white and red colourway, we are also getting a black and blue colourway, also scheduled to be releasing once again on the 12th of November for that same retail price of £140. I'm going to be completely honest, I do not like Jordan 2s. I do not like Off-White Jordan 2s. I do not like regular Jordan 2s. And that's absolutely fine, because not everybody is going to like every single shoe. And there are other Jordans within the 1 through 14 that I absolutely do not like. So this really doesn't change. My energy isn't changed by the fact that this is an Off-White collaboration. But the fact that they've actually put a little bit of history into it does make it a little bit more of an interesting proposition. Now, when it comes to like purposely aging shoes, I'm not a fan of that. It's just not something that I personally want to do. I like to keep my shoes pristine. I like to keep them box fresh. I do like to wear my shoes, but I also like to make sure that they last as long as possible. So this whole new like dynamic of pre-aging your shoes, it's just something that completely has gone over my head. I'm just honestly not a fan of it, and it's not something that I'm really that interested in. The main reason I've included these particular shoes in my list is because at the end of the day, this list is not just about me, it's about everybody, it's about our whole community on this channel. And I know that a lot of people that are watching this video are going to be fans of Jordan 2s, even before the Off-White collaboration stuff. And even if you're not, and you only like this shoe because it is Off-White, that's absolutely fine as well. Don't let anybody else decide which shoes you can and can't like. If you like what they've done with it, absolutely go for it and do your best to actually get this shoe. This shoe is going to sell out. It's going to do very well in terms of resale value, like all Off-Whites do. And I think that's got a lot of people in the mixed feelings. Like, you know, a lot of people might just want it for the historical value of it and for the collector's aspect of it. And there are going to be people that are watching this video that want it for that monetary value. No matter which way you look at it, it's really up to you how you decide to go ahead and actually attack this one. With it being an Off-White collab though, we should all bear in mind that this shoe is going to go crazy. The resale value is going to be up there. It's going to sell out instantly when it drops on Sneakers. It's also going to sell out through raffles. If there's first come, first serve, the bots will be after them. So if you really do want them, all the best to actually try and get them. Like I say, because of the fact that we are in October, there's no official confirmed information as yet. And this one may even get pushed back because of the major shipping delays that Jordan brand have been experiencing. Hopefully that's not the case, and if you really do actually want them, you are able to get them. But for me, more than happy to pass up on it. I think I will be trying to get them for a review for the channel so you guys can get a good look at them. But if I did get them, I'm going to be honest, I definitely would be selling them.
You're goddamn right.
So moving on to the next shoe up on our list, the next one is the Yeezy 500 in the clear brown colourway. Now this is scheduled to be releasing on the 13th of November for a retail price of £180. And I'm not exactly sure, but I do think I actually covered this in last month's video because I do think it was actually rumoured to be releasing in October. Like I said at the start of the video, things can move and this may even be pushed by the time the 13th of November rolls around. But for me, it is a super versatile shoe, absolutely perfect for this time of year. Whether it's raining where you are like it is where I am, this is still a great shoe. It looks like it's very hard wearing. The colourway makes it perfect for autumn and even perfect for winter in most cases. Never had a pair of 500s either, so that makes it a little bit more interesting to me. So this is definitely on a must-cop list for me this month. I am trying to be a little bit more stringent. I am a dad and Christmas is coming and it's the most expensive time of the year. But I do think that this would be a shoe that would be great for my own personal collection. And, you know, if I am going to look through this entire list and think of what would be a great personal shoe, this would actually be quite high up on the list for me. So this will be releasing in the exact same vein as every other Yeezy release. So it will be on the confirmed app. If you haven't already, do make sure to download it. Also, they should be releasing via raffles at all the regular places, SNS, End, Foot Patrol, and wherever else it should be releasing. I'm not sure how the raffles work in places like America and other places around the world, but if you do have any kind of raffles guide where you are, do make sure to keep locked in because I do expect that this shoe is probably going to sell out. So moving on to the next shoe up on our list, we have yet again, another collaboration between Sacai and Nike, but this time it's for the Vapor Waffle in the white colorway. Now, it's scheduled to be releasing on the 19th of November for a retail price of £180, and also releasing on the same date for the same retail price. We are also having the black off noir colorway. I'm going to be honest, Sacai are completely overdoing it. I'm not sure if it's from the Sacai side of things or from Nike. But when it comes to the LD waffle, not the waffles that we're about to touch on, they are completely overdoing them. We had 3 brand new colorways as a collaboration with Undercover. We've had collaborations with Fragment. We've had collaborations with Clot. And now on this one, it is just going to be Nike and Sacai for the for the Vapor Waffle. And it's just completely oversaturating the market. The excitement's not there. It's not as, exciting as what it would used to be when they used to previously release. I do think there's going to be a lot more hype surrounding this white and black colorway, especially because it is a Vapor Waffle and not an LD waffle. And we do tend to see less releases of these. The colorways are really clean, whether you want the white colorway or you want to flex with that black colorway. I think for me personally, because of how I am when it comes to wearing my shoes, I really don't want to get them dirty, so I'd probably go with the Off Noir black colorway over this white sail colorway. But either way, they look very well made, they look very comfortable. Never try to pair out because for the most part, the Vapor Waffles are incredibly hard to get. And even when I managed to get my hands on an LD waffle, I cancelled my order because I just didn't quite fancy it, so that is what it is. But with these, definitely going to be trying to get them for a review. The jury's still out as to whether or not it would be a shoe that I'd actually wear or even want to have in my collection. There's something about that double lacing that I'm just not a big fan of. If I have to double lace my shoes before I can get going, it's just too much hassle for somebody like me. But if this is something that is right up your street and something that you are really interested in, just to reiterate, it is going to be the 19th of November, retail price of £180. All the regular raffles should be available, and this will be releasing on Sneakers app as well. So moving on to the next shoe up on our list, we have the Air Jordan 1 Bordeaux, scheduled to be releasing on the 20th of November for a retail price of £145. Now, as soon as I saw this shoe, it kind of looked like it was just like a fan reconstruction of the Midnight Navy colorway. The materials that they've used look absolutely identical. If you put both shoes side by side, besides the obvious color changes, the shoe for shoe, looks absolutely identical to me. If you like the Midnight Navy colorway in terms of materials and you also like this new Bordeaux colorway, absolutely fill your boots. This will be a great shoe for you. For me, I absolutely loved the Midnight Navy colorway. I didn't get it at the time. Everything was selling out. Things have kind of slowed down a little bit here now and kind of also elsewhere as well. We are starting to see a lot of Jordans actually sitting on shelves. Not necessarily as many Jordan 1s as a lot of us would actually like, but the likes of the Jordan 1s you can see behind me, they were sitting on shelves and I think even now are still sitting at certain places. I can't see this one sitting, to be completely honest. I think the Bordeaux colorway, whenever you put it on any Jordan model, tends to do very well. Although for me, I'm still massively salty that in the UK we didn't get the Jordan 6 Bordeaux. Have no idea who decided not to bring them out here, but it is definitely a shoe that I will be adding to my collection. So if I had to choose between the Bordeaux 1s or the Bordeaux 6s, Bordeaux 1s step aside, let me have those 6s. But if you are more interested in Jordan 1s in general, like I think most people are, this is a very nice shoe. Colorway is clean, materials look pretty good as well, and all things considered, it is a very nice shoe. So moving on to the next shoe up on our list, we have once again yet another collaboration. This time it's between Comme des Garçons and Nike for the Foamposite in the white colorway. Now this is scheduled to be releasing on the 26th of November for a retail price of $520. Absolutely ludicrous price. To be honest, I'm not even sure if this shoe will be releasing here in the UK. We generally don't see Foamposites anywhere, or at least I haven't really come across any. And I'm not entirely sure if this is specific just to the US. And that is why I'm actually saying that it's $520. If you do want that UK comparison, I believe it's around 380 quid. That is absolutely insane. Now, alongside the white colorway, like we've been seeing from Nike quite a lot, they are giving us a lighter colorway and a darker colorway, and it's exactly the same with this collaboration as well, as also releasing on the same day for the same retail price. We also have a black colorway. Now, I do think that the shoes are absolutely fire, and I think if they were at the regular retail price point, which is considerably lower, I'm not exactly sure of the exact dollar amount or the exact UK like comparison, but I do believe it's around that $220 ratio, maybe even a little bit higher than that, but not too much more. It's definitely not more than $300 as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware. So to be charging over $500 for this specific shoe, I'm not entirely sure if this is even right, whether or not the information that I'm reading online is correct or whether it's been misquoted. So if when this shoe comes out, it's not $520, I'm happy to be completely wrong on this, because $520 for this shoe is just absolutely ludicrous. If you guys know any more about it and you can kind of shed some light on it, or, maybe tag me in some, like update information, you can always find me on Instagram under ACS Sneakers. Feel free to shoot me anything that you find. Everything that I've read is kind of up and down. They're saying it's 520. I've seen some that saying it's around 500, but the most one that I've seen is $520. I really can't get past that. If you pay that for this shoe, more power to you, because it's not a shoe that I would ever want to go anywhere near. I can't even imagine what that resale price is going to be or how limited this release is. I mean, the shoes, like I've already said, straight fire. The white colorway, definitely a big flex. Black colorway, nice, refined, something you can wear a little bit more often. But for that price point, I'm happy just to let sleeping dogs lie. Even if it doesn't release in the UK, even if it does release in the UK, I should say, it's not a shoe that I would be going anywhere near. And last but by no means least, we've reached number 10 for today's list. Next up, we have the Air Jordan 3 releasing in the camo green brown colorway, scheduled to be releasing on the 29th of November for a retail price of £170. Now, this shoe was initially first rumoured as part of the holiday pack from Jordan brand, and when I first saw this on the Sneakers app, I'm not going to lie, the jury is still out even now. I've seen lots of pictures about this shoe, and I still can't decide if it's a shoe I actually like or even dislike. I mean, in general, I absolutely love the Jordan 3, and it is incredibly difficult to a Jordan 3 up, but I think they've somehow managed it with this one. Now, honestly, when it comes to Jordan 3s, I think for the most part, a lot of us do really prefer the leather colorways. In general, it's really beautiful, it's really simple, it's really clean. The elephant print stands out really nice on those leather colorways. And even for certain exceptions, I like the nubuck and even suede releases. But this one, the combination of colours don't really sit right with me. I'm not exactly sure what the materials are, but they don't quite sit right with me either. So I do think, even though I'm a huge fan of Jordan 3s and it is my favourite Jordan silhouette, this is a shoe that I'm probably going to be passing up on. Even at the regular retail price point, even under retail, I don't really think I actually want this shoe for the collection. But I do think that this may pique a lot of people's interest. I know that in America, the Jordan 3 tends to do a lot better than over here in the UK. But just to kind of give you guys a little bit of perspective for how it is for here in the UK. Today we had the release of the Jordan 3 Pine Greens, and even though it took most of the day for them to sell out on Sneakers, it is still readily available everywhere else. Full size runs are on the likes of Foot Locker, and we'll give it a couple of days and they'll probably be up on Foot Patrol size and everywhere else. So I don't really see this shoe selling out. I don't see it doing that well for resale over here specifically. And this is, like I say, definitely a shoe that I do not need for the collection and don't even like, but had to include it in this list for anybody that does. But to end on a much more positive note, I'd love to get your guys' opinions as well. So do make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section below with your thoughts on my list and any particular shoe that you are looking forward to the most. I did try and make this list as versatile as possible. If there are any other shoes that are releasing this month that you felt like should have been included, do make sure to comment them, and we may end up doing a part 2. I have seen that there's been a request for a couple of part 2s as we move throughout the month. And like I said, this is a top 10, so there's only very specific releases that can be included. I did try and basically make sure that all the information was correct as well, so that's why we're not seeing certain releases included, because there's no factual basis for when they're actually releasing, so that's pretty much all I really have to say on that. But with that said, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's actually stuck around to this point in the video. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one.